Assalamualaikum and hi everyone, my name is Nuralia binti Muhammad Bakri, and in this video we are going to talk about computational thinking skills that are applied in unplugged activities. Board and card games such as Jenga and Uno can effectively illustrate key concepts in social science while incorporating computational thinking skills such as problem decomposition, pattern recognition, abstraction and algorithmic thinking. These games provide interactive ways for players to experience structural stability, risk management and social decision-making in a controlled environment, allowing them to develop logical reasoning and strategic problem-solving skills.
For the first unplugged activity, we have Jenga. Jenga is a popular block stacking game. It is used to stimulate algorithmic thinking and problem-solving strategies. Participants follows a structured approach to remove and stack blocks, ensuring the tower remains stable. This activity enhances pattern recognition, abstraction, and logical reasoning by analyzing the effects of each move before execution. The unpredictable nature of Jenga also reinforces decision-making skills under uncertainty, a critical aspect of computational thinking. In this game, players take turns removing one block at a time and placing it on top of the tower. Next, each player must predict the consequences of their move and decide on the optimal block to remove. Participants record their decisions and analyze their strategies post-game. And finally, the game continues until the tower collapses, at which point players reflect on their approaches and identify patterns in successful and unsuccessful moves. Now, let's see computational thinking skills that applied in Jenga. Firstly, we have algorithmic thinking. In Jenga, players use algorithmic thinking by following a logical step-by-step process to decide which block to remove. Typically, a player will scan the tower, gently test blocks to see which ones are loose, choose the safest block to remove, and then carefully place it on top to maintain balance. This strategy forms a kind of mental algorithm, repeating the same steps with slight adjustments each turn. By breaking down the complex task of keeping the tower stable into smaller, manageable actions, players demonstrate how algorithmic thinking helps solve problems efficiently. Next, we have decomposition. In Jenga, decomposition is used when players break down the overall goal, keeping the tower standing while removing and stacking blocks into smaller and manageable tasks. Instead of focusing on the entire tower, players focus on individual layers, then specific block within those layers. They also separate the actions of identifying a loose block, removing it carefully, and placing it on top. By tackling each of these smaller steps one at a time, players make the complex challenge easier to handle, which is exactly how decomposition works in computational thinking. And lastly, we have pattern recognition. In Jenga, pattern recognition helps players make better decisions by noticing which types of blocks are usually easier or safer to remove. For example, players often recognize that middle blocks in the middle layers tend to be looser, or that certain patterns of removed blocks create instability. By observing these repeated situations during gameplay, players can predict outcomes and avoid risky moves. For the second game, we have Uno Card. Uno Card is a well-known card game which helps players develop computational thinking by recognizing patterns in colors and numbers. Players must make strategic decisions based on available cards, predicting possible future moves. The activity encourages abstraction, pattern recognition, and decision-making. Furthermore, Uno introduces an element of probability as players must anticipate the likelihood of opponent holding specific cards, an important aspect of algorithmic strategy. To play this game, firstly, players need to follow the standard Uno rules, matching cards based on color or number. Second, players must predict opponents' possible moves and plan accordingly. Next, strategic use of action cards, skip, reverse, draw 2, and others is encouraged. And lastly, participants analyze game patterns and discuss winning strategies at the end. In Uno, firstly we have pattern recognition. In Uno, pattern recognition plays a big role in helping players make quick and smart moves. Players constantly look for patterns in colors, numbers or special action cards. For example, if a lot of red cards are being played, a player might recognize that red is the dominant color and prepare to switch colors if needed. They also notice patterns in opponents' behavior, like how someone might always play a draw 2 when they are down to a few cards. By identifying these repeating elements, players can predict what might happen next and adjust their strategy, showing how pattern recognition supports decision making in this game. Next, we have strategic thinking. In Uno, strategic thinking is a key to winning the game. Players need to plan ahead, not just play the first matching card they have. For example, they might hold onto a wild or draw 4 cards for a more critical moment, or purposely change the color to one they know an opponent doesn't have. They also try to track what cards others might be holding and adjust their moves to block them from winning. By thinking several steps ahead and making intentional choices, players use strategic thinking to control the game and increase their chances of winning. And lastly, we have decision making. In Uno, decision making is involved in every turn as players choose the best card to play from several options. They must quickly evaluate which card will benefit them most, whether it's matching the color or number, playing a special action card or saving a powerful card for later. For instance, deciding between playing a skip card to block an opponent or a number card to stay unnoticed requires weighing short-term gain against long-term strategy. This constant evaluation and choosing the most effective action shows how decision making is an essential part of gameplay.
No.
That's all from me. Thank you for watching this video.